I think one of the things we've seen at this conference is it means many things to many people. Everything from a new business model, a new asset management methodology, new technologies, new workflow, and I think the nugget of it all is digital enablement of the industry sector. And I think that's the one thing that's been there right from the very beginning, is that using digital and information technology to help transform the way that the whole sector actually works and interacts with each other. So it's come a long way. It's come a long way in the last 10 years. I guess a couple of things. We've seen much more widespread installations and application of well technology. A lot of the early discussions were around reliability of some of the more complex things we're putting in the wells today. Now, all that's essentially, we seem to have got over that hurdle. Many of the talks that we've seen at the show this week have been on widespread application of some of the well technology components, and I think based on that we've seen a resurgence of the activity on the surface, on the intelligence, on the software that binds most of this together. So it really has accelerated very, very quickly in the last couple of years. So another very interesting fact is we have seen a shift in the way that the service companies have approached this. Right at the start, we were looking at products and services that really only solely looking to sell and support our customer base, where today the service sector is really looking at digital technology as a core part of our own business and how we manage our workflow and activities on a day-to-day basis. So, and that's a big shift. That's a big shift that's only really happened in the last couple of years. I think one of the big points of discussion today was on industrialization. And now that we've moved down the path of really stabilizing well technology, we're looking at surface infrastructure, and the surface infrastructure is the connection to all of the intelligence and software packages that are available today. And I think for me that's the one thing that we have to get right. If we don't get it right, we're going to lock ourselves into a mode where we're going to have to live with old technology for a long period of time. We're almost planning for flexibility, and assuming we're going to have obsolescence is a big piece of the landscape in the next 2 to 5 years. And fundamental to that is open standards. We have to stick behind open standards being the way that we enable and make all this work in both the short and the medium term. A lot of the areas where we focus most in the short term has been in the drilling, exploration, and well construction side. So a large part of what we're bringing to the table is the expertise to make sure that we have well placement in the right place for our customers. So all of there's been an explosion of activity in the logging well drilling and measurement well drilling arena over the last 5 years, and some of these are very, very complex sensors. And it's not always, we're not always able to have the right level of expertise right at the field to have the data interpreted correctly to help our customers steer and place the wells in the right place. So our remote operations centers, which is a big part of the tactical strategy at the moment, have essentially allowed us to open up a fairly small expertise base to really enable the right decisions to be made for our customers in many places around the world. So from that standpoint, I think there's been an enormous value added in just making and leveraging the technology correctly. Yeah, one of the things that I'm most excited about is where technology might actually take us. Our plenary session actually looked at, for the first time, now that we think that we're on the path and the first footsteps to industrialization and making this mainstream, where do we set the bar? Where do we put the next stake? Quite a few discussions today on new sensors, and nanotechnology came up a couple of times in the presentations, and it's a paradigm shift. How do we go from the single point pressure temperature sensors, which are the standard today in the reservoir, to maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 orders of magnitude difference of data being available with sensors that are just wildly different from the standards today. And once we actually have that challenge in place, we need to be setting some targets for extraordinary performance in some of the areas of the E&P sector, and whether that's production improvement or recovery factors. And with these goals in place, we then need to look at the technology set and how we bind that together to go deliver them. So there was a very few interesting discussions today on that subject matter.